All right. So today, we will learn about something more interesting things about programming, the object-oriented programming. Okay. So for you learned what is class, what is object, how to create these classes. You also learned about instance method, class method, static method, class attributes, right? Some of these very basic things about object-oriented programming. But assume you have only one class here. Okay, assume there would be like if you model the real world entities, there can be more than depends on the system. There can be 1,000 classes. There can be 500 classes or 100 classes or even 10 classes. But you want to organize these classes and you want to build some kind of relationship between these classes, the entities. Okay, so the the relationship between the classes is generally in software programming can be put into two ways. One is called inheritance and second one is called composition. Okay. So what is the meaning of inheritance is, suppose in 100 classes, you see that 10 classes are repeating the same things that each other class is doing. So you want to put the common functionality into one class and you want to make use of it in another class. Okay. So where you define the core functionality is called the base class, and whoever takes the advantage of that is called a child class, okay, or a derived class, whatever you want to call it. So this fundamental principle is called inheritance, okay, where you are taking advantage of existing functionality, and the relationship is obtained between the objects, and it is called a is a relationship. Means for example, if you take example of animal and a horse, right? A horse is also an animal, so there is a relationship between a horse and animal. Horse is an animal, so there is a relationship there. Wherever you see such kind of relationships, it's generally a inheritance model. Okay, so there is two things. One is parent class and one is a child class in the inheritance. Okay, in inheritance you have a parent class where you define a reusable functionality, whereas in child class you use these functionalities as well as create additional functionality. Okay, so that is the meaning of a inheritance. You have parent class and a child class. Okay, this is one way of actually linking together multiple uh, objects, but there is also another way of doing it. Okay, uh, the another way of doing it is called composition. In composition, what is the advantage here is, there would be one parent class and you can have any number of child class inside it. Okay. Composition, if you see the English meaning, composition means uh, to have inside, right? So for example, there is a parent class and it contains, for example, a table. If you observe a table has got four uh, legs and there is a base. Okay, so a table composes four legs and you have a the base, the top, the tabletop. So the composition meaning, a composition has a combination of objects within it. Okay, so table, for example, is an example. So as opposed to the the inheritance, right? So the composition is generally preferred over, but lot of people are excited by the possibilities of inheritance. Okay, so in Python the inheritance is heavily supported, and if you observe in Python, uh, there are very few languages which supports a concept called multiple inheritance. That means you can have a relationship. A child can be related multiple the base classes. So you can reuse lot of functionalities of your multiple parent classes. Okay, So that is also possible in C++. I'm not sure about Java. Okay, so that is one of the advantages of doing that. But there is also a disadvantage because it creates a problem called diamond problem, which you can actually explore. Okay, so diamond problem is something like there is a parent class called A, and there is two child classes for it, B and C, which are whose parent is only A, and there is a D class which whose parents are both B and C. So you create a chain like this. Okay, A, and you have B, and you have C, and you have basically D. Okay, so if you observe, it's in a diamond shape. Okay, and if you have a same functionalities across all the parent classes, so which particular class will get called first? So all those decisions have to be made, right? So it creates a problem called diamond problem that is being solved in different languages in different ways. Okay, in C++, it is solved by a concept called virtual functions, like virtual classes or virtual functions, whatever it is. But in Python, it is being solved by something known as method resolution order. So the MRO, it is called MRO. Okay, I will show you what is that. Method resolution order. Okay, now before we go ahead, let's try to uh, create uh, the simple classes for inheritance. For example, yesterday we learned about the employee. Let's try to create a person class. Just make it, let me create a simple class called person, and let's define an initializer method for the person. For example, he has got first name and last name. Let's not take more here. And let's initialize it. F name is equal to F name, and self dot L name is equal to real name. Okay. And a method called print. And this will basically, let me make this print person. So let me make this as print self dot first name plus, let me give some space in between and do self dot L name. Okay, now this is a person class. Now I want to create an employee class as well. Okay, class employee, right? And how to inherit, how to make a child class. The person is a parent class. You just name the class name inside the bracket, so you are inherited now. That's it, done. Okay, now let's try to do something. Let's try to create an employee class. Employee one is equal to employee, right? But we know that it is inheriting from employee, so we need to pass some first name and last name, right? So first name like Monty, and last name is Python. Okay, now if you do employee one dot, as you can see, you can access both first name, last name. You can also access a functionality of print person. The, we have not written any functionality here, but that functionality is coming from the person class. So let me show you the output here. Python inheritance dot y. So if you see the output, it is Monty Python. So one thing that you observed here was you are not written any functionality within employee class, but what you have done is that you have taken advantages of a parent class called person, and you created object of employee. Okay, and you used a functionality that is already defined in the parent class called person. Okay, so this is how you create a basically inheritance between the two classes. Now you can add additional functionalities uh, in your in your code basically. Okay, so how you do that? So you basically uh, add additional things that you want. For example, um, and apart from the first name last name, you also want to add some additional properties for this particular employee. for example, age. Okay. So what I can do is I can customize my init function. So I can say init, and it also, since you're a child of the person, so you also need to get the values for person, right? You also need first name, you also need last name, but additionally I'm taking the age along with this. Okay, now I can do self dot age is equal to age, but I should also do the initialization of the parent as well, right? So this student, okay, this student, we need to initialize the person dot, if you observe there is a init, and I will initialize with the self, the f name and l name. So this will initialize my parent as well. Okay, now I had access to employee one dot print person. Now I got access to even the age as well. Okay, now let me print this. Okay, let me print this. So it is saying it is missing one required positional argument. The init is missing one required positional argument because the employee requires an age. So let's take this 22 and see the output now. You're able to uh, print both uh, employee details as well as the person's additional property called age. Okay. Now, if you observe here, I'm taking the name of my parent class and I'm calling in it explicitly, right? Now, instead of that, I can, instead of remembering who's the parent is, you could use some interesting way of doing it. In all the programming language, this concept is there called super. Super means by default, this functionality knows who is the parent of my class, right? So when I say super, I can do directly in it, right? And I can do, instead of passing self, I just pass f name and l name, right? So this is how you can use as well. So let us see the output. Now you are able to get the output right. Okay. So now in this is a very simplistic way of doing the things. So I have added my custom property called age here, and I'm using super to initialize my parent as well. And I'm able to reuse my print person. I can also add my own functionality. Okay, for example, the employee, I can add, for example, let me take in the salary as well, and let me do self dot salary is equal to salary, and let me pass in 10,000 rupees. I will add a method called def raise salary, and I will take amount and self dot salary plus is equal to amount, right? Now, now let me see, there is a print person method, right? I can actually do this, use the same functionality here. I will do def print person, and I can do print self dot f name plus, right, self dot l name. I am overriding the parent method if you observe here. Self dot age, right? Self dot age. What else can we add it here? I am going to add self dot salary. Okay, let's see the output here. Uh, so now if you observe, the age is int. So let me convert to string so that it gets, okay. What is wrong here? Self dot salary is also an int. So all this has to be done. That is fine. All right. So now it is printing, actually printing, when you call print person, it is calling this method now rather than the parent method, because the parent method also has a print person functionality, and child also has got print person functionality. And the whenever you call an object of employee, it will always first check in the child whether there is a functionality called print person. And this is how it is called function overriding. So you are able to override the parent class with mm, the parent functionality in the child functionality. Okay. So this is what you do with the inheritance. There are a lot of concepts here about inheritance. I'm going to talk about this. Let me know now if you have any questions. Now this is about inheritance. Okay, this is a very basic knowledge about inheritance that you need to have. Okay, now let me create an employee class again. Okay. Let me take whatever we have written here. Where is the row? Okay, so this is my employee class. Okay, so this is my employee class. It has got let me remove all these unnecessary things, and this also. Okay, so now in the lists when we studied, right? For example, I have a list 1 comma 2 comma 3, and I have a list y is equal to 4 comma 5 comma 6. When I did x plus y, it gave me 1 2 3 4 5 6. So it understood internally when you have two lists and when you put plus in between. Okay, what happened was that it combined both the values from one list to another list, right? And similarly, when you have Monty and when you do Python, the two strings get basically combined. Okay, the concatenation happens. So this is not a magic. Okay, somebody must have written somewhere, right? Okay, what happens when you actually add two lists or two strings or something like that, right? So let me show you what happens when we do create two employees and add them. Can somebody guess what happens?
If you do the operator overloading, then we can check like what to do in that.
Okay, any other answers? So when I do print employee 1 plus employee 2, what happens? So let's see the output of this. Python magic.py. Okay, so what happens? So it gives you an error saying that um, there is a unsupported operation between an employee and an employee. This error you will see in more places. Okay, for example, 1 plus 2. Are you able to see the same error here? Unsupported operand type between int and string. Similarly here, employee and employee. So this operation is not defined somewhere, right? So let us define it. Okay, to define such kind of operation, Python provides something known as magic methods. Okay, so now we want to override plus. We want to override plus. Okay, so for that you can use something known as add and dunder add functionality. Okay, I will just do print pass. Nothing else I will do now. Now when I actually run my magic.py, it is saying pass. Did you notice? It is saying pass. When I did employee 1 and employee 2 with the the plus operator is overloaded here. These are called magic methods. Anything that starts with underscore and underscore, right? So the plus operator is basically overloaded. Now, what are the two things that you're seeing here? Self and other. Okay. If you observe the plus operator, and on the left side there is an object, on the right side there is an object, right? These are two objects. Now the first object here will refer to self. You can name it anything, by the way. Okay, and the second one will go into other. Now you can access both objects values and basically do whatever you want to do with the add. For example, in list, what did it do? It took all the elements from first list to call the elements from second list, it gave you a new list with all the values. Similarly here, what I can do is I can do whatever I want, but for now what I will do is I will create okay, a new employee object. I want to create a new employee object with the name of the first person itself. Okay, on the left side, whoever is there, and with the same age. But what I will do is I will combine salary of the first employee and the others employee. Very simple. Okay. Now let us see what happens. See, now I am returning an employee object, so it is giving me a memory location. Okay. But when I print an object, it should not give me memory location. It should give me something more valuable. Right. So to do that, basically, I can do some interesting thing here. Okay. Now I will add um, additional magic method called str, and this will basically return the same thing. Okay. This will return the basic same thing. It will just print. Now let us see what is the output here. See, now it is basically printing employee 1. The name is employee 1. The age is 22 and salary is 30,000. 10,000 plus 20,000. Now str is a magic method. Whenever your code calls a print statement, this will basically internally call an str method if it is available. Otherwise, it will show you a memory location of an object. So if you see dir of list, okay, you can see how many magic methods are overloaded here, right? So you have an add, that is plus operator. You have an a greater than symbol. A list can have a greater than symbol, and you have init functionality. You have multiplication. For example, I have a list with 1 comma 2 comma 3 and I do star 3. What happens? It repeats 3 times. That is represented in a magic method called mul. Okay, so these are all magic methods. The less than or equal to, right? The length. What should happen when I call the len of, for example, 1 comma 2 comma 3, right? See, 3 is there. So all this is done here. So these are called, all dunder methods are called magic methods, and some code is written for it. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is that you add a subtraction functionality to this employee class. You add less than or equal to, right? For example, you want to override less than or equal to less than functionality. Okay, for example, uh, less than. So you need to return something. Okay, return self dot salary is less than self other dot salary. Now what I can do is I can directly compare now. Print employee 1 less than employee 2. So let me show you now put. So what is that? Less than or equal to I need to do because I overridden what? Less than or equal to functionality. So it is saying true because I compared what here in my code? I compared the first employee salary is whether it is less than the other employee's salary. It is, right? So 10,000 is less than 20,000. So it is giving me true. The response is true. So now you added a custom functionality which was not at all there before. You are comparing two employee objects. So this is possible through the magic methods. You can use any functionality and try to do on your own. Okay. And if you do Python, okay, I will do from magic import employee, right? What happened? I did magic. I will do magic, and dir of employee is what I wanted to show you. Similar to list, you will see lot of lot of already existing dunder functionalities from there, from where these came, right? These we are not done. We have only added add less than or equal to and str, but from where these are coming. Now the trickiest part is that all the classes, all the classes in Python by default are inherited from a inbuilt class. Okay, all the classes in Python are inherited by an existing class which is part of Python, even if you don't mention it, called object. Now don't confuse with the object of the class. Object itself is a class. If you observe here, the object itself is a class here, which I don't know why it is named object, but it is by default. Any class that you create in your system is, and for example, observe here, int, you created x is equal to 0, you created x is equal to 10. By default, it is an object. By default, it is inheriting from a class called object. That's a lot of confusion out there, right? Don't confuse. Okay. Now, the only thing that you need to remember is all the classes in Python are inherited from a class called object. But from the classes that you create, you can create your custom objects like employee1. Okay. So that's about inheritance in Python. Okay. Inheritance we learned, magic methods we learned, how to overload operators we learned, dunder str we learned. Okay. So any other questions you have? Quickly, let me quickly show you about diamond problem. Okay, so let me go ahead and create a file called diamond. Okay, I will create a class A, and I will not do anything here, and I will do pass. Okay, I will create a class B. Okay, that is inheriting from class A. I will also do pass. I have a class here. I have C class that is also inheriting from A, and I will create a class D which is inheriting from both B comma C. Right now, this is how we define and uh, the diamond problem. But now let me open up a shell and let me do from diamond import D. Right, I'm importing class D now. Now the question is, how do you know how the traversal happens? How the traversal happens when you want to call a particular method if it is there in multiple classes, right? How to find out? It's very easy. Okay, now you directly do help of D. Don't do anything else here. Now that's an interesting part here. Okay, so Python provides the solves the diamond problem using method resolution order. Okay, it works on an algorithm internally and traces the sequence of classes where it should go and check whether the method exists or not. The hierarchy according to that algorithm right now is first checks in D, then goes to B, then goes to C, then goes to A, and goes to a built-in object class. That's what I was talking about. All the classes in Python get inherited from object class. So this is the method resolution order, and this is how it looks up while checking for uh, the methods that you call. Did I answer that?
I got it. Thanks.